So is it time to shake up the system? Harry Aldridge was a first-time voter at the last election in 2024. Hello, Harry.
Good evening, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. What age were you when you voted?
I was 18. I wasn't old enough to vote in the local elections, but I was old enough just in time for the general.
And so why do you think 16-year-olds should get a vote?
Well, I think giving 16 and 17-year-olds the right to vote, I think it's fair. I think it's consistent with the other responsibilities they have at that age. But I think most importantly, it would be a powerful way for politicians at a time when many people feel kind of disillusioned and apathetic with politics to show young people that their voices matter. I think it would force politicians really to take the concerns of young people seriously and to address the issues which matter to them, whether it be the state of our education system or whether it be the climate.
You think they're ready
I think they are ready, and I think there can be
at
things
16?
done. Well, I think so, and I think this is a really exciting opportunity to actually improve civic education in our schools. I mean, in schools, we should be improving political literacy. Perhaps we could be having classes around how to find a reliable source, what we can classify as accurate information, and what disinformation looks like, and then enabling a sort of seamless transition between students learning about politics, learning about kind of finding information for themselves and then putting that into practice immediately through voting at the age of 16.
Yeah,
I think
and
it
that,
I
that
think it
all
would improve
sounds,
political literacy.
and that sounds lovely, Harry, but the rules of the game at the moment, society, in other words, government, has decided through elected representatives that, you know, 16-year-olds are not mature enough to drive. They're not allowed to drive, yet you want to give them a vote. They're not mature enough, according to our government, to watch some movies. Well, there's a big 18 sticker on it. They're not allowed to drink, are they? They can't buy a beer. You want to give them a vote?
I mean, at that age, they also have a huge number of other responsibilities. At 16, that's the minimum age you can leave school. They have to make really significant decisions around their future and education. I mean, they can join the military in Scotland. I mean, young people, they can get married at the age of 16 without parental consent. I think this is the right direction we should be going in. I mean, we've seen in Wales, we've seen in Scotland that in the devolved elections, young people can vote at the ages of 16 and 17. And actually, what we've seen happen there is people build up really good voting habits for the rest of their lives. I think this is a direction we should be going in to actually improve the health of our democracy and to ensure that decisions which affect young people, they actually have a say in.
Well, look, if why not say it about 14 and 15-year-olds as well then? Like, what is
Well, I think.
significant about the age of 16 to you as opposed to 18?
Well, I think, as I mentioned earlier, 16 is the age where we give young people a huge number of responsibilities. And when we look across the globe at, countries like Brazil, when we look, really close to us in countries like Wales, like Scotland, they've reduced the age to 16 and we've seen really positive effects there. I just feel like it's a very smart move, particularly to make, because at that age, lots of young people will still be in the classroom and it's a good opportunity to actually combine some teaching about civic education in the classroom to then enabling them to vote kind of seamlessly afterwards. I just feel like we're kind of missing a trick in our education system that we should be doing more political
Well,
education,
yeah.
improving political literacy, and then allowing young people to have a say on decisions which affect them.
If they're interested, like, do you think the majority of young people are disinterested in the
Well,
current political setup in our country?
Well, from the conversations I've had with my friends, I think young people are actually really engaged in politics. I think they see local issues when they're walking down their high street every day. I mean, they're exposed to it 24/7 on social media. I think the challenge isn't getting them interested in politics, but I think it's a matter of getting them interested in party politics and linking what they see in their everyday lives to what happens at Westminster. I think often the traditional political parties can feel quite distant from young people. And if we actually give younger people at the ages of 16 and 17 a vote, then parties have to directly talk to them. I think it would increase their political interest and parties would be they would directly have a stake in ensuring that they have policies which are targeted to young people. So I think it would kind of improve political interest and then you start to establish those really good voting habits from a young age, which will make our democracy much more effective and I think much healthier as well.
What interested you so much?
Well, I think it was the decisions when I was at that age, which I saw happening around me because of the decisions the government were making. I mean, when I was 15, we had the start of the coronavirus pandemic. I couldn't go to school because of that. We saw restrictions all around us. They were decisions taken by the government and they directly had an impact on my life. And even before that, I mean, we saw per pupil funding cut by the Tories by 9% from 2010 to 2019. That had a direct implication on my school. It had a direct effect on my education. So I think it was feeling quite frustrated about the decisions which the government were making, which really got me interested in politics.
Are you still interested? Do you think
Yeah,
it's made a difference?
I'm
Think you
still
can make
really
a
interested.
difference?
I think we can make a difference through voting. I mean, I think the government we have now is on a very different direction from the previous one. And the reason we have that difference in direction now is because of the way people voted at the last general election. I think politics, people can make a difference. But I think something also to consider that actually engaging with politics is a really good way for young people to develop new skills. Through politics, you learn about a whole range of issues. You learn how to debate and to communicate your opinion on an issue. I think learning those skills from a younger age
Yeah, but
is
you can
really
do that.
important.
You can do that. But quite a few young people, they're not necessarily going to be the best of debaters. They're going to be the best of communicators. Is politics engaging and exciting enough to those people, or actually is it real enough? Can it really can as an individual citizen, have you really got a say in this country beyond voting at an election? Do half of these parties ever stick to their promises and manifesto?
Well, I think the fact that Labour are even talking about now lowering the voting age is showing that they are sticking to one of the pledges they made in their manifesto. I think it clearly can make a difference. And I think for students, perhaps they aren't too interested in politics, perhaps they aren't too interested in debate, but actually just having some lessons in schools. I mean, I didn't have really any political education in the classroom. If this is accompanied with a huge package with, for example, civic education, that's a great opportunity for young people to learn more about the democratic process, which will hopefully get them interested. But also, if people in those classes are communicating their views on issues, I mean, public speaking is a skill which everyone has to use throughout their lives. I think if we can improve education, improve political literacy, this is a really good thing we can accompany with votes at 16.
All right. Harry, thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you tonight. Thank you for